Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Miss Kelsey here, and I'm back with Sally today for another awesome STEM at Home project. And I got a little sneak peek before we started tonight, and it looks super cool. So I am very excited to turn it over to Sally, and she is going to show us exactly what to do, and I think you guys are going to love it. All right, so Miss Sally, I will give the screen to you. And should be good.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing on this snowy day? Pretty chilly out today, isn't it? Although we are having some of this ice melt. That could be a whole nother science experiment for you, talking about the solid, liquids, and gas. But that's not what we're talking about today, but it still could be super fun. What we're going to do today, I hope you guys really like this. We are going to be talking about roller coasters. And if you were able to pick up the kit, then you had a bunch of supplies. You can see that I have some things scattered all over my table here. If you weren't able to get a kit, you're only going to need like just a couple things, which you can buy from like any store around locally. Nothing super special in this. So in our supply kit today, which always comes in a baggie, but I went ahead and got my items out. What you had are you had a foam insulation tube like this. And these are just foam insulation tubes that go around like your pipes to keep them from freezing. But I cut it in half so that we can access the channel on the inside. And then I had a couple marbles in there for you. I don't know if you guys can see these. You should have had a couple marbles down in your activity kits. And you have a cup. Here is my little cup right here. And then you had some masking tape, a roll of masking tape. So with those couple simple things, you guys are not going to believe this, but you are going to turn into roller coaster engineers today. We are going to very quickly, because we've been doing this every week, but I like to touch base on it anyway. Go ahead and talk about the engineering design process, or just as, let's just do like a minute review. So when we're doing the engineering design process, if you guys remember, it's a circle. There we are. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself what the problem is. What am I trying to solve here? And today we are trying to solve like how we can get a marble to go through our channel like a roller coaster and land where we want it to. The next thing is to imagine how exactly you're going to be able to get that done. So what kind of supplies do you need? What kind of restraints? What kind of ideas are you going to come up with? Then you want to plan it out. Maybe you need to gather some materials, get your plan all pulled together. If you want to draw diagrams, that's kind of fun too. The fun, super fun part is when you actually get to create this. That's number 4 on the screen. So you want to create your design. And then the 5th one is improve it. And improving it is where you're testing it. Did it work? Yay, that's awesome. But typically, things don't work on the first time. That's why anybody that is an engineer, they think through this process because typically things don't work on the first time. So you're going to improve your design, and then you begin back up with asking yourself, like, what was the problem? How can I fix that again? Might have to replan it, and then you get to create it again. So that is our process for today. Oh, I just wanted to remind you of that real quick, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you how to get started. I will probably be showing you this real quick, and then you may not be able to do this with me just because of time constraints, but we'll show you what you're going to do, and then you can take your supplies and have at it and have a lot of fun. So we talked about the supplies that were in our kit, and then what we want to do is to be able to take a marble to run through this track and land inside that cup. That is our problem or situation that we're trying to do today. You guys think you can do it? We're going to use gravity, and we're going to use Newton's first law of motion and some velocity and some things like that. some big science words, and you're going to figure this out. Mostly you're just going to have fun. So what we're going to begin with is you're going to have one of these channels. And if you look, this side, I have such a glare on here, I apologize. This side has a groove in it. So you're going to, what we want to do is have our marble to be able to roll down through here on its own, and then it's going to land in the cup. Now, if you want to practice just like with this, and you figure out like, how am I going to get that marble to do this? So your challenge is using a long piece of track, configure a loop, but first we're going to practice this part. If you take this marble and you just lay it on here, is that marble able to go by itself? No, that's not able to go. It's just sitting there, right? And now if I lift this up, do you see it rolling? That's because I'm using gravity. Gravity is the force that makes everything pull down. So if I'm using gravity, that's using gravity to roll along that track. The other really neat thing about these marbles is they have potential energy inside them. That means these marbles have the potential to actually roll. Now, if I set it here, can it roll on its own? Nope. It doesn't have any kind of an energy source. But if I use gravity and set it on there, look, it does roll. So we're using gravity. When the marble is actually rolling, that's a different type of energy, and that is called kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is the energy that an object uses when it is in motion. So when this marble is in motion and rolling, we're using kinetic energy. And what you guys want to remember when we're doing this is especially gravity, because gravity is what's going to make your marble have enough energy to be able to achieve our goal. So your goal today is to take this, and our first challenge, if you got your piece of paper on the back, I have a list of challenges for you. And your first challenge is using one long piece of track. You're going to make a loop. You want to make a loop in it, and then you want this marble to be able to travel. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. You want this marble to be able to travel on its own, go through the loop, down, and land inside a cup. Is it going to be able to do it if it's laying flat? Look, I have this laying flat across my table. Nope, because the marble doesn't have any type of energy source to be able to go, right? So you have to figure out, like, what can I use? And that's where we're going to use that gravity to be able to get this marble to go through here, go all the way through the loop and down. What I did was, and you guys can do it however you want, and that's why you got tape. So I just happen to have a cardboard box in my house that is setting up kind of higher, and I made this have an incline. That means it is not laying flat, it is inclined like this. So it's going to go down, right? So I made it go down, and hopefully it'll have enough energy. It'll go down, it'll go through that loop and continue on and go into the cup. Now, when I did this a little bit ago, it worked out perfect the first couple times. And then the third time I tried it, my marble went rolling off the table. It didn't even go through here. So that's when I had to think about that engineering design process of like, what can I do to make my loop stick? So I taped my loop down onto my table. I used my roll of masking tape, and I taped it down. You guys can use a box. You can use the back of a chair. Think about the different ways that you'll be able to pull some gravity and make that work. Other thing is, I just happen to have a bunch of Lego in my house. So look at these Duplo Lego. I just stacked some of them up because I wanted this to have a little bit better support. So I stacked them up. I'll show you. They're right here, and I slid it behind here to help support it a little bit. Another thing you could do, another really cool thing is if you take tape, and if you think about like a roller coaster, how it has a lot of bracing on the side, you could put pieces of tape here and stretch it out. I don't know if you can even see that, what I'm doing. If you take tape and you stretch it onto the sides, might be able to see it on this side, and then you're making like a leg or a brace to help hold your roller coaster stiffer. Well, you can see that, can't you? And all I did was attach it a little bit at the top, and it went down, and I attached it to the table. So we're going to put this marble in, and I'm going to see if this actually happens to work. And like I said, it worked earlier, but it may or may not go. I'm going to stand up here real quick. I'm going to go over here. We're going to drop it. Now, you're not going to just drop it, but you want to place it like on the, like at the top of where your run begins. We're going to roll it down. Oh, didn't go all the way through. Do you know why? Because my tape popped up. It's exactly why we have to try more than one time, right? So my tape popped up and it actually interfered with the marble going through the loop. So it caused a bunch of friction to happen. And when that friction happened, the marble stopped on that loop. Let's try it again. Push that tape down. I'm going to push that piece down. It worked. It's so cool. I know it is so hard to see. I'm going to try this bright orange marble and see if you guys can see it. But this fat marble didn't want to work real well earlier. Let's try it. Here goes. It worked. Can you guys, it's happening so quickly. I don't know that you can see it. But I have the cup on the end of my track so that it actually will catch it so my marble doesn't go rolling all over the place. Now, the neat thing about this challenge is to be able to brace it or figure out how you're going to hold it, if you want to use Lego, if you want to use blocks or whatever, because the challenge is that you're not holding on to this as you're letting the marble go down. The other thing is you're not going like this. You're not pushing the marble with your finger. You want your marble to be able to begin at the top and free fall. And there it went. It didn't quite make it down to the end that time. It stopped right there, but it did make it through the loop. And how it made it through the loop is at the very top of this loop is called critical velocity. And you have to be able to have enough, let's turn this like this. You have to be able to have enough energy for your marble to get up to here and continue. So it's going to go like this and continue all the way through the loop. If you don't have enough energy, the marble's going to go rolling and it's going to get to here and it's going to fall down. So you have to think about, like, if I did a great big giant loop, do you think that would work better? Or if you did a little tiny loop, what if you did that? After you complete this challenge, I would like you guys to do challenge number 2, which is taking the same piece, and then you can make 2 loops. See, I've got a double loop. And then you're going to have to figure out, it's hard to see that, isn't it? But you're going to have to figure out, well, let's see, I could separate my loops a little bit. We could go this way. How's that? But you have to figure out, like, how I still can have enough energy to make that marble go through 2 loops. And then you have to attach it somehow so that you're not holding on to it, because the key, really fun part of this is being able to do this without holding on to it. So the next thing, like, just to add a little bit more fun, is there's a try more on your piece of paper down here. You could take another piece of that channel and you could make a hill. And so you could do this. What if I attach this, or even right here at the very end of this one, if I made a hill so that it is bumped up like this, and then the marble, after it went through the loop, and then it has to go up and over the hill and then land in the cup. You could do that. That would be an extra activity you could do. If you have any paper towel rolls or like a toilet paper roll or anything like this, you could take these and you could also put that around your track, and you can make tunnels for your marbles to go through too. So when it went down, it would actually roll through a tunnel and it would end up on the other side. So you could do tunnels. That would be another fun activity. Another one is you can make a corkscrew, just like if you're at like an amusement park and some of those roller coasters, they have loops like this, but then they also have like twisty loops. You can try one of those and see if you can get your marble to use up all of that potential energy that it has stored inside it and roll down through there and use all that energy, get up here where that critical velocity is, and it's going to roll down, go through here, and you want it to land in your cup. So that's a lot of big words that we use today. Hopefully you guys will have fun with that. And just think about Newton, Isaac Newton. You might be studying that in school. Isaac Newton is he was a scientist that lived a long, long time ago. And he said an object will not move by itself, just like our marble will not move by itself. But once that marble or once that object starts rolling, it will not stop unless there's something there to make it stop. So that law of motion is this marble rolls down through here. How did it stop? It ended up in our cup that I just stuck on the end of that. So that is how Isaac Newton's theory works. So it's rolling, it goes, it stops. Or friction can make it stop also, right? Because of the slowing down on the process. Well, I think that's it. I hope you guys really enjoy this. There's so many different ways you can twist this around and attach it and add to it. You can add that second piece that was included in there. If you have a second piece, you can make a super, super long track by taping the ends together, and maybe you can add even more loops and make a super long track. Oh, I hope you guys enjoy this activity, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
That was so awesome, Sally.
Thank you.
I am so excited to try that. I got my kit today.
So good.
Yes, so I'm going to play with mine as soon as we're done. I'm very excited about that. Do we know what next week's project is?
Next week, we are going to plant a soybean seed, and we will be talking about roots, the roots of a plant. So we're going to work on that. I'll back up that. I'm super excited about that because my husband and I are actually farmers and we grow soybeans all the time. So I'm excited to share that little bit with you. But to back up, I just want to say, if somebody wants to do this activity, these pieces of foam are only like $2. And so this is a super inexpensive activity. So you just, you can get a 6-foot piece of this for like under $2 actually. And then you cut it in half and you could have 2 great big long pieces. And then all you need is some tape and a marble, and there you go. So this is a super inexpensive activity, and the kids will have hours of fun with it.
I am definitely going to have fun with it.
Good.
All right. Well, we will see you all next week. And if you guys think about it, drop a picture on our Facebook page so that we can see you guys having fun with all of your different projects.
Oh, I would love to see some of these STEM activities. That would be really fun. Really fun.
Would. Yes. All right. Well, we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks.